Spider-Man 2002 is a special movie. It's the first of its kind and a generational influence. Without this Sam Raimi masterclass, we wouldn't have the insane cinematic universes that we have today. But this movie is different though. Like, out of 30-something superhero movies that proceeded to come out 20 years down the line, this is still the best one. It's crisp and it's aged like fine wine. For those of you that don't know, it's shot on film, which sounds pretentious, but it's shot specifically on 35mm Kodak Vision 2383, which means all the colors just glisten and have a nice shine and they look full and golden, and it just has this beautiful cinematic grain. And this movie just stands out to me visually, not the CGI, obviously, but I just appreciate that it's also full screen. It's not letterboxed to all hell, which means like cropped. It doesn't have those obnoxious black bars that make the movie wider, because a lot of modern movies like to be shot, in a wider format, because filmmakers have decided that horizontal space is more important than vertical, which is true to an extent, but some of these movies are getting too wide. Like, I swear to you guys, like, people want to go see IMAX and they want to see the full screen. We don't need everything to be super wide. But anyway, I'm supposed to explain to you guys what my favorite scenes are and why. So my first favorite scene is the school field trip. Now, this establishes that Peter is a super nerd and he's shy, and Harry is kind of a douchebag friend, but he also cares about him and they have a cute little dynamic. Now, although, little exposition and dialogue in this scene lays the groundwork for all three of our main characters, MJ, Harry, and Peter. So, first off, Harry literally tries to rizz up MJ with something Peter says. Like, Peter literally goes, "Yo, Harry, some spiders change their color to blend into their environment as like a defense mechanism." Not even a minute later, Harry is spitting this at Peter's crush. And this isn't even like 5 minutes into the movie. Or maybe it's like 10 minutes into the movie, but whatever. Not even 2 minutes later, Peter is bit by, the spider. So I don't know. This whole scene is just hilarious to me. But also Harry does defend Peter in the scene too from the bullies, but it's just hilarious that Harry's like, "Yo, bro, I dare to talk to her." Peter's like, "Nah, man, I'm good." And he's like, "Bet." And he just pulls up on the hoe. Kind of crazy. But I mean, that's just one of my favorite scenes. And did I mention the pacing of this film is like awesome? But I'm gonna throw in a quick honorable mention because my next scene is pretty far into the movie, and I just want to say that I love the fact that Peter becomes Spider-Man the same exact night Norman becomes the Green Goblin. It's so comic booky and cool, and it's just like this night was destined to happen and will go down in the history books. Like, this is the night Spider-Man and his arch nemesis was born. So my second favorite scene is the rooftop speech that Goblin gives to Spider-Man. He does the classic gas the superhero, bring his unconscious body to a rooftop and try to seduce him. Mentally, not sexually. I'm telling you though, Goblin proceeds to spit some game at Peter. Like, if I'm Spider-Man, I'm folding here. I'm gonna go fuck some shit up in the city with Goblin. We're just gonna run through shit and blow stuff up. Like, I'm down. But Toby's Spider-Man is just better than me, I guess. So Goblin says that no matter what, the people of New York will eventually turn on you. They love you now, but eventually they're gonna want to see you fail. So he goes, "Come on, man." He gives him a nice little head slap, and he asks him to be evil. And Spider-Man politely declines, and then Goblin leaves. He literally pulls up in the Nissan Altima and just dips. And I love this scene because it shows how much respect Goblin has for Spider-Man. He's like, "All right, bro, I'll give you some time to think about it. But if you say no, I'll murder your entire family." But, whatever. This scene has great dialogue. It has great character work. And I just think it's really special. And it has that weird early 2000s movie nostalgia. Like, just the way this scene's shot, and not the room tone, but like the city tone. And just I don't know. It just gives me nostalgia. I'm an early 2000s kid. Eat my meat. But my final and favorite scene in this whole film happens to be the climax, when the Green Boy captures Peter Parker's love interest, Mary Jane, and a bunch of innocent little children. And dude straight up says the funniest line in cinematic history.
"Let die the woman you love, or suffer the little children."
Now, that was the exact moment that Sam Raimi flexed on the entire world and everybody that went to see this movie. He knew he could make an awesome superhero movie that was serious, but he could still make it goofy and have these goofy, epic moments. Like, this is just so ridiculous. It stands out to me as one of my favorite superhero movie moments ever. I don't know why, just the goof, the humor gets to me. Like, dude is like, "You get to pick your girl or the little children." Like, that is the most sadistic, like, I love it so much. It's hilarious. It's aged like fine wine because so many new superhero movies just try to have these really dark iterations and they try to be so serious and they absolutely fail. The Justice League and all the DC old stuff does this. And it's just so, your characters don't have to be serious. Not every moment needs to be serious, but also don't break the fucking dramatic tension of a scene with a shitty joke. That's too much. Don't go to the MCU way, but also don't go to the really dark DC path. But again, DC has gotten better and I'm kind of just kicking a dead horse that died like 5 years ago. But anyways, that's all Fat Matt has to say about this movie. Just like last time, it's officially Julian's turn.
Just like Fat Matt, I too love Spider-Man 2002, directed by the main man himself, Sam Raimi. It's actually my favorite of the trilogy. Over the years, this film's cultural and personal impact alone remains as one of the pioneers of its genre. I could talk about this whole movie if I had the opportunity to, but unlike other YouTubers, I don't wear Converse shoes. Same as Matt here, I'm going to discuss 3 of my favorite scenes. Although, at the end of the video, I'd like to give one scene its own private attention due to it hitting home in a more personal way. Let's begin. No Spider-Man retrospective can begin without discussing Uncle Ben and Peter's talk in the Delta. Uncle Ben isn't aware of what Peter is going through exactly, but his fatherly advice breaks through in the end.
Remember, with great power comes great responsibility.
But sadly, not in that exact moment. Peter storms off feeling his uncle is scared of him going down the wrong path in life. But this is just the beginning. Peter then goes to become part of what could essentially be compared to a Roman Colosseum, with Bonesaw playing the part of the lion who attacks any poor soul thrown into the ring. And why is Peter doing this? To earn money for a cheap car so he can impress someone he probably shouldn't. After an amazing entrance with Bruce Campbell introducing
The Amazing Spider-Man!
Peter has to make sure he doesn't get his head torn off. I chose this scene because it's interesting seeing how Peter gets used to the various things he can do against another opponent with his new abilities. It really shows how versatile Spider-Man can be even when he doesn't have much experience. To continue from here is a bit tricky, but before I do, I need to say something. Willem Dafoe delivers a spectacular performance as the Green Goblin and Norman Osborn. He is everything a villain should be, and then some, which makes the final scene all the more compelling. The impact of each hit and the grunts Tobey Maguire express convey true pain. But where this scene cemented as one of my favorites is when Norman is pleading for his life, saying he was like a father figure to the boy. Then Peter interjects with this one line.
I have a father. His name was Ben Parker.
Now that is the growth that our main character needed to truly become the Spider-Man. And now, for a moment if I can.
I missed him a lot today.
I know this feeling, and if you do too, I'm sorry. Losing a loved one is something, if not everyone goes through. It is a part of life even if we don't want it to be. And director Sam Raimi and screenwriter David Cope not only displayed the scene in a humanizing way, but the film as a whole. Have a good night, and as always, thank you.